Hello and welcome to Middle Eastern Thursday. So today, guys, I have for you 20 fragrances that I consider to be the very best, the most spot-on dupes of certain luxury, designer, and niche fragrances. These are fragrances that are very popular. So when we find a Middle Eastern fragrance that is quite the dupe, we are pretty excited. So today I'm going to share with you the Middle Eastern fragrance, and I will also be sharing with you from my collection the fragrance that it is a spot-on dupe for. These fragrances have all been discussed here on the channel. I have detailed reviews of all of them, so I'm not going to take too much time with each. I'm just going to show you the fragrance, tell you a little bit about my experience with it as it relates to being a spot-on dupe, and my thoughts in general. If you want more information about these fragrances, then just go ahead and do a quick search here on the channel, and believe me, one if not multiple videos for each one of these fragrances will show up. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get into it. But before we jump right in, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, guys. So this first fragrance is from Paris Corner Emir, and this one is Voux Elegante. Now, if you've been with me for a while, or you've been with me on this Middle Eastern fragrances journey, you guys know that I am absolutely in love with the Voux collection from Emir Paris Corner, because it just seems that, first of all, they seem to be dedicated to just being inspired by Xerjoff fragrances. But at that, guys, they do such an incredible job at it, because I can tell you that I think there's only been one that I did not find to be like almost 100% spot on, the OG. But this one is supposed to be inspired by Xerjoff Naxos. And guys, if any of you have tried these fragrances, can you please let us know in the comment section your thoughts, because I just could not believe it. If you remember when I hauled this fragrance here on the channel, I was just floored, because they are truly like almost 100%, if not 100%. So I am telling you this, if you are interested in a more affordable version or an alternative to Xerjoff's Naxos, then get yourself Voux Elegante, because I am here to help you today. I am here to help you figure out these fragrances and find something more affordable if that's what you're looking for. The next fragrance that I want to share with you is also from Paris Corner, and this one is Minya. Okay, so guys, this one was inspired by Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 62. Now, you guys know that Cheirosa 62 started as a body mist, but then they also launched the fragrance. And when I tell you guys that this is like 100%, it is the exact same fragrance. And I will tell you though that I do find that the body mist is much more of a spot on with this fragrance than the fragrance itself, right? So, but when it comes to these two, 98%, 99%, like almost 100%. Anyway, so if you were interested in finding a more affordable alternative to Sol de Janeiro's Cheirosa 62, then this may be a fragrance that you want to try. But in addition to that, if you just have the body mist and you love the body mist like most of us do, and you really don't want to spend that much money on the fragrance that they have for it now, then again, this is a great alternative, because the performance in this fragrance is just exquisite. And guys, when I tell you, oh my goodness, when I tell you 100% the same fragrance. All right, guys, this next one, I am wiping my little fingerprints from it, because Oh my goodness, guys. Let me tell you, selecting the fragrances for this video was a lot of fun, but now filming, oh, this is like, wow. Okay, so this is French Avenue Tropical Kiss. Now, guys, this fragrance is okay, Stéphane Humbert Lucas Soleil de Jeddah Mango Kiss. Guys, when I tell you, okay, so first of all, look at the bottle, right? And of course, it speaks to mango. It really does speak to the note of mango, but then the fragrance is called Tropical Kiss. And this one is Mango Kiss, Tropical Kiss, Mango Kiss. But let's not even go there. Guys, the juice. The juice is exactly the same. Now, let me say something about this fragrance. When it comes to fragrances that were allegedly inspired by Stéphane Humbert Lucas Soleil de Jeddah Mango Kiss, I can tell you that I've tried so many other fragrances. Like there's one from Lattafa, which is the portrait one. And you know, while it is approximately the same fragrance, it's not as spot on as this one. There's been different fragrances that have been launched that are supposedly, allegedly inspired by Soleil de Jeddah. But when I tell you that this is the one that is like spot on for Mango Kiss. So if you're looking for a more affordable option to it, and you know, one that performs just as well as the OG, then Tropical Kiss is one that you may want to get your nose on. Now, most of the fragrances that I'm sharing with you today have had the chance to macerate. I think there's only maybe like 2 fragrances that I'm going to be sharing with you today that have not sat in my collection for several months at this point. This next one, guys, is a very, very new fragrance. But when I tell you, guys, this fragrance is so spot on to the OG. I almost felt a little bit weird when I hauled it on the channel and then when I reviewed it, because it is so spot on. I didn't want to say, guys, this is a straight up 100% dupe of the OG. And I am speaking about Paris Corner Marshmallow Blush. Guys, I don't even need to tell you, right? Because at this point, there's been so many reviews, and this is spot on Kayali's Bougie Marshmallow. Guys, I am telling you, there is, to my nose, on my skin, on paper, it doesn't matter where I tested this fragrance. These two are pretty much the same. And I have to tell you, I am loving this bottle, absolutely loving this bottle. I think that they did a very good job at capturing that, you know, like fluffy marshmallow kind of vibe. And I'm loving the name too. I really, really am enjoying this fragrance. I hope that there's more from this collection in the future, like in this type of bottle, because absolutely loving it. But guys, I am telling you, and the performance of this one is stellar. But I have to tell you, I have no issues with the Kayali one either, because it is performing very, very well for me. But if you were looking to spend less money, if you're on a tight budget, or you just don't want to spend the kind of money that you would have to in order to pick up the Kayali, then here is your alternative, Marshmallow Blush. And by the way, guys, all of these fragrances, I have provided links to where you can pick up each fragrance in the description box of this video, but there's also discount codes. So make sure that you not only save by picking up, you know, the Middle Eastern version, but then you also use the discount code. And of course, it also helps me with the channel. All right, guys, so the next one that I have for you, this one is from the Voux collection of Emir Paris Corner again, and this one is Voux Patisserie. Now, guys, I am sure that if you saw when I hauled this fragrance here on the channel and then I provided a detailed review, I am telling you guys, this is without a shadow of a doubt Xerjoff Casa Moratti Italica. Absolutely the same fragrance. I don't know how they did it, but it opens the same way. It gives me the same olfactory journey. At the dry down, it smells the same. It wears the same, which is outstanding because both of these fragrances are beast mode on my skin. But guys, 100% So if you're interested in Italica, but you want to try a Middle Eastern fragrance to see if you're really going to like it, that's another thing, because this is quite lactonic, as I told you before. So if you want to try the Middle Eastern version before deciding if you want to invest on a bottle from Casa Moratti, well, then this is your opportunity. All right, guys. So the next fragrance that I have for you, oh my goodness. Okay, so this one is supposed to, you can hear the little clacking of the Montal bottle. I am speaking about Noir d'Arabie, and this one is from Pendora Scents. Now, guys, I already showed you, this is Arabian's Tonka. Now, the Montal fragrances, are really not that expensive to begin with, and you can get them at a rather reasonable price from a discounter, right? But guys, I am telling you, this one honestly performs even better than this one. And you guys know that Montal fragrances are beast mode. But this one, I just cannot scrub this fragrance off. I can't get it off my clothes. I can shower and still kind of sniff it on my skin, even after like kind of scrubbing. It's just very, very interesting. But I am telling you, these two are pretty much the same, the exact same fragrance. Okay, so this next one that I have for you, I've discussed here on the channel many times because it is a fragrance that is spot on for one of my favorite designer fragrances of all time. And this one is from Emir Paris Corner, and this is Rifaaqat. And of course, I am speaking about YSL's Baby Cat. Now, guys, so I had picked up YSL Baby Cat when you couldn't find it anywhere, and I paid a ton of money for it. And then I also got myself a backup bottle. This is the second bottle. But when I discovered Rifaaqat, I just could not believe it. And I'm not going to lie to you. I felt a certain kind of way that I had spent all that money when Rifaaqat was right there just waiting for me. And this is one of my very first Middle Eastern fragrances. It was like earlier in my journey, and I was having an issue with like accepting that, my goodness, these fragrances are that incredible, and they are spot on in some instances to the OG designer or niche luxury fragrances. But these two, guys, if you have been interested in trying Baby Cat and you've heard about the leather note and you're not sure, well, then get yourself Rifaaqat and try it using Rifaaqat, because you're going to have the exact same fragrance. So spot on. I can't even, guys. All right, guys, so this next one is not going to come up as a surprise, because whenever I speak of spot-ons, I was going to not pull certain fragrances because I've talked about them so much here on the channel, but some of them are just so exceptional that I just really have to. And this is the case of Shaghaf Oud Tonka. Now, guys, this fragrance, first of all, let me just say, guys, that okay, this is one of those instances where I literally prefer the Middle Eastern version than the OG. And let me just start by saying that this is inspired, but it's really a spot-on dupe for BDK's Velvet Tonka. Now, guys, I love Velvet Tonka, and it performs very well, but there is something about this one. Guys, oh my goodness, the olfactory journey is so incredible. And when it comes to performance, this one does perform better on my skin because this is full on beast mode. This one does perform well. It gives me a full day wear, but the projection is not the same. The sillage is not the same. This one, oh my goodness. But when it comes to the juice, when it comes to the way they smell, they are spot on. I am telling you guys. I know many of you have this fragrance. I don't know, how many of you have had the chance to compare them on skin, on paper, and otherwise, but when I tell you, spot on. So since we're talking about fragrances that I've talked about time and time again here on the channel, I'm going to move on to the next one, because this is one that it seems that in every video I have an excuse to bring it up because I'm absolutely obsessed and in love with this fragrance. And this one is from Lattafa, and this one is Sehr. Now, guys, I have shared with you so many times that this fragrance is spot on for Tom Ford Vanilla Sex. Spot on. Now, when it comes to Vanilla Sex, that is a fragrance that I picked up immediately after launch. And I also almost immediately returned it because that's how unimpressed I was. When it comes to Vanilla Sex, the scent is nice, it's beautiful, but it lacked in performance on my skin, like in a severe way. And I also felt like certain notes were like kind of faint. When it comes to this fragrance, guys, this is spot on Vanilla Sex, but the performance is exceptional. The olfactory journey is just there. It's going to take you, oh my goodness. This is an incredible, incredible fragrance. I'm going to stop right there because I've talked so much about it here on the channel. You guys know how I feel about it. So Lattafa Sehr. All right, so this next one is also not going to come as a surprise because we've talked about this one quite a bit in our community. And this one is Paris Corner Bayn Al Asrar. And of course, you guys know that this one, of course, was inspired, but it's really a spot on for Amouage guidance. Now, let me explain something. So this fragrance has now had the opportunity to sit for quite a while in my collection. And in that process, a couple of kinks and quirks that I found when I first picked up this fragrance and compared it to the OG guidance, I found a couple of quirks here and there, a couple of negligible differences, but they were kind of there. Guys, after maceration, I have to tell you, this is so spot on Amouage guidance. It's just ridiculous. Like, and this is such an expensive fragrance. Now, is this one guidance or guidance 46? You may ask yourself. To me, this one is truly the OG guidance. And, you know, there are very minimal differences between the OG guidance and the 46, but this one to me is definitely guidance. Guys, get your nose on it, try it, because this is really one that even if you have guidance, you may want to consider getting yourself this bottle. All right, guys, so this next one is of a fragrance. This next one is inspired, but it's really a spot on also of a fragrance that if you've been with me here for a while and you watch all my videos, not just Middle Eastern, you know that I absolutely love this fragrance. And yeah, it has a mirror reflection, so I'm wiping it. This one is from Gritty and it's Duquesa. And the one that I want to talk to you about today is Afnan Supremacy Tapas. Oh my goodness, guys. Now, this is a cherry fragrance, but this is a dark cherry, mysterious, sexy kind of fragrance, just as Duquesa. But when it comes to the scent, guys, spot on. Absolutely spot on. Now, this is a fragrance that, of course, you know, it's luxury niche and it is quite expensive, but this one is much more affordable, and you're basically, I hate to say it, I really do, but you're basically getting the same thing. Let us know if you've tried these fragrances and your thoughts. All right, guys, so this next one is a very interesting combination for me because I am speaking about Cadlash, and this is La Prestige Empress. And this is a fragrance that some really believe that it was inspired by Sospiro's Vibrato or Bulgari Tigger, which you guys know that I have if you've been with me for a while, and it was my signature scent for years. And I really believe now that this one has had a chance to sit that this is spot on Vibrato, because while some people say that Vibrato is, you know, kind of like a dupe to Bulgari Tigger, I really don't agree. And I do have a detailed review of Vibrato here on the channel where I compare it directly to Bulgari's Tigger. And I can tell you, to me, those two give you the same vibe. They are similar, but they're certainly not the same. Now that Empress has had a chance to sit, I am telling you, this is Sospiro's Vibrato. This is spot on, guys. Like, unbelievable. But I will tell you that, you know, Vibrato is a beast mode on my skin, and so is this one. So we are not missing out on anything. So if you're looking for a more affordable alternative, or you're just into Middle Eastern fragrances and that's your jam and that's what you want to do, well then, if you were interested in Suspiro's Vibrato, then try the Prestige Empress from Cadlash, because when I tell you, the same. The same. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on this next one because we've talked about this one so much here on the channel. Everybody's aware of this fragrance. Everybody's in love for the most part with this fragrance. You just need to love a lactonic fragrance. But I'm speaking about Lattafa's Eclaire. And of course, it's supposed to be inspired, and it is. It's actually quite the dupe of Giardini di Toscana's Bianco Latte. Guys, I'm not going to talk much about this. Let me just say this, 100%, 100%. And now that this one has really had a chance to sit, oh my goodness, guys, the same. I'll leave it at that. All right, guys, so the next two fragrances that I have for you, I have to tell you, oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys know that my favorite perfumer is Dominique Ropion. And if you don't know, now you know. But Dominique Ropion is my favorite perfumer, and he has done quite a bit of work with the fragrance house Frederic Malle. And this next fragrance, guys, is like the top seller, the best seller, the most iconic fragrance, in my opinion, from the Frederic Malle fragrance house. And I absolutely love it. But the Middle Eastern fragrance, I just could not even believe that they have this down, because, oh my goodness. So this is a unique portrait from Emir Identity line. So in the Identity line, you are going to find, I have at least in my collection, 3 fragrances from this collection, and they all have been inspired dupes of several Frederic Malle fragrances. But this one specifically, now you know that if this one is called Unique Portrait, then it must be Frederic Malle's Portrait of a Lady. Now guys, Portrait of a Lady is a serious masterpiece for me, and I struggled so much when I first picked up this fragrance. I hauled this with you guys a long time ago, so this one has had a chance to sit. So let me tell you my journey, because this is really funny. Let me tell you my journey with these two, right? So I received this one. I actually picked it up. I did not receive it in PR. And I picked up everything that was part of the Identity line at the time. And when I received this fragrance, I sniffed it, and it did give me immediately the vibe of Portrait of a Lady. And I thought to myself, oh, look at them trying to give us a dupe of Portrait of a Lady. They'll never get that down, because guys, Frederic Malle fragrances are quite complex, as you know. Oh my, this is a journey like none other. And they're not mass appealing. They're really not. Like, you really have to be into the DNA of that fragrance house to enjoy their fragrances. But so I sprayed the fragrance, I let it sit, and then I came back to it. And guys, I struggled, because I'm not going to lie. When I sprayed it on skin again after it's sitting for several weeks, it gave me Portrait of a Lady. All the way from first sniff to the opening of the fragrance, to the middle of the olfactory journey, what comes in, what leaves, what stays, what you get, the dry down, the same, the wear, the same, the performance, the same. Like, honestly, I just don't even understand how they did it, but they did it. So if you've always been interested in trying a Frederic Malle fragrance, and Portrait of a Lady, you know, is like iconic, then maybe you can try the Identity version before spending, because this is quite pricey, on this one. Or if you did get yourself a sample of Portrait of a Lady, or you've been using it from a decant because it's so pricey, or because you don't want to spend that kind of money, well, because when I tell you, the same, exactly spot on, the same. All right, guys, so this next one is from French Avenue, and this one is Miraj Exclusif. Now, if you recall, when I hauled this fragrance here on the channel, I was goo goo gaga over it, because, oh my goodness, this is an incredible fragrance. And at the time, I had not picked up, believe it or not, I had not started my journey with Penhaligon's. But since then, I have picked up quite the number of Penhaligon fragrances. Guys, when I first tried Bewitching Jasmine, I ran. When I tell you, I really did. I ran downstairs where my studio is, and I went to the Middle Eastern section of my collection, and I immediately pulled this one up because when I tell you, spot on. Guys, spot on. These two are the same fragrance. I mean, I'm sorry, but they are. But let me tell you the thing though with these two. I am loving my Penhaligon fragrances, but the performance is iffy at times. When it comes to Bewitching Jasmine, it does perform well on my skin, but this one is a powerhouse. So if you've been looking to try Penhaligon's Bewitching Jasmine and you've never, picked it up for whatever reason, you can also give this one a shot because, oh my goodness, guys, exactly the same. Like spot on, spot on. Please let us know if you've tried Miraj and you also have had the opportunity to sniff Bewitching Jasmine, and just let us know your thoughts. Okay, so this next one, guys, this is a recent fragrance, relatively, right? I've had it probably maybe a couple of months in my collection. Yeah, I picked it up. This was not received in PR. I picked it up pretty much as soon as it came out because I had heard that it was inspired by Queen of Silk from Creed. And that is a fragrance that I own. And I absolutely, guys, I absolutely love. It was in my favorites of 2024. Now, let me tell you where I also struggle, right? So Queen of Silk was just launched, but we almost immediately received from Maison Alhambra Avant Silk. Guys, so here's Queen of Silk. So I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say because spot on. That's all I'm going to say. They are truly the same fragrance. I mean, and the thing is, this one has not even had a chance to sit for months and months at a time because it's a pretty new release. But this one came out in 2024, Queen of Silk, and then we got this one like 6 months or 9 months down the road. I just don't understand how they did it that quickly. But guys, these are pretty much spot on to my nose and on my skin. Like, unbelievable. Now, if you've been looking to try Queen of Silk, or if you got yourself a decant, but you don't want to spend Creed money, or you just want something more affordable, well then try Avant Silk, because I think you're going to be very, very shocked, impressed, happy. All right, so the next fragrance that I have for you is not going to come as a surprise, because when it comes to the entire Shaghaf collection here on the channel, you guys know that I have pretty much every fragrance from this collection, and I absolutely love them all for different reasons. They are quite intense because Swiss Arabian doesn't play. So this one is specifically Shaghaf Oud Elixir. Now, Shaghaf, incredible fragrance. But when I tell you that this one is spot on Lancome's Oud Bouquet, guys, it's the same fragrance. It is the same fragrance. There's no two ways about it. I hate having to say that, but it is the truth. They are the exact same fragrance. Now, this one has had a chance to sit with Swiss Arabian. I don't experience having to let them sit for months and months to get the results, because as soon as I picked this up, I could get it. But I would say it was like a month later, when I was doing my cycles and going back, looking at how maceration is changing certain fragrances, that it was just like, wow. It floored me. I was like, I just couldn't even believe it, guys. Let us know if you've tried both of these fragrances and your thoughts, because I am telling you, spot on, spot on. All right, so this next one may come as a surprise, and I'm gonna have to tell you a little story about this one. So let me just start by saying that I'm talking about Paris Corner Rua. Now, when I picked up this fragrance, and I didn't pick it up actually, this was sent to me in PR, I sniffed it, and it did give me Delina vibes, but I did find some differences in the olfactory journey and also at the dry down. So, and I just felt a certain kind of way because I really love Delina. I love Delina Exclusif. And I just felt a certain kind of way. I'm just being honest with you. So I just let it sit and just literally like ignored it. Like I was like, I'm going to punish you for trying to be my precious Delina. Well. A couple of months went by and now I'm being honest with you, preparing a declutter video. That one declutter video of Middle Eastern fragrances that I've done here on the channel. And I pulled this fragrance and just for giggles, I said, let me just go ahead and spray it. And I did. Guys, Parfums de Marly Delina. I don't know. I know there's other fragrances that have allegedly been inspired by Delina within the Middle Eastern fragrances. I tend to not pick them up because I'm not really interested in a dupe of Delina. I'm really not interested in a lot of these dupes of fragrances that I absolutely love because I just don't want to keep adding, fragrances that are exactly the same. That's redundant and kind of wasteful. But at the end of the day, you guys do request quite a number of them. And a lot of you really do want an alternative, a more affordable alternative, and one that really gives you the same experience, if not as close to it. So I do this and I do enjoy it because let me tell you, like going through the experience of comparing these fragrances and seeing how on point they are frequently, like that has just changed my perspective in so many ways about fragrances. But let me just tell you, these two, I'm not even going to say anything. Delina is a bit airier. That's the only thing I will say. I think that the oud here is a bit more emphatic. But other than that, guys, you're going to get the same thing. All right, guys. So this next one, oh my goodness, this next one. Oh, guys, let me just go straight into it. So you guys know that there's a group of fragrances that I have made it a point to recommend beyond. And of course, Cadillac Fleur Oud is one of them. I know you guys know that. I think I sold it out. Believe me, but this next one is another one that when this came out and I got my nose on it, I was like, whoa, right? This one is from Paris Corner Emir, and this is Vibrant Vetiver Delight. This is my second bottle, guys. When I tell you, it came out right before spring, if I recall correctly, and I used it all throughout spring, all through the summer, finished the bottle, layered with it, gave you so many layering combinations here on the channel, had it in so many different videos in my top picks for Middle Eastern fragrances. I've had this on the channel here time and time again, so many times. This sold out, then it came back. I put a link in the community tab. I've done it all with you. Guys, this fragrance is spot on Byredo's Bal d'Afrique. Now, you and I have had conversations about Byredo. I love Byredo fragrances. I have several of them. But in most instances, like 98% of the time, the performance in a Byredo fragrance leaves much to be desired. Like it really doesn't perform to par with this level of a fragrance and the price point. But Vetiver Delight came in to fix that for us. It came to fix it all for us because this performs incredibly. This one borders on beast on my skin, and on paper, skin, and otherwise, you are going to get Bal d'Afrique. These two are the same. It's the same fragrance. Like it's the same fragrance. If you have tried both of these fragrances, please let us know in the comments section your thoughts because I am telling you, the same. All right, guys. So when it comes to Maison Crivelli's Hibiscus Mahajad, I have tried so many fragrances that allegedly have been inspired by it. And yes, a lot of them have been inspired and come quite close to Hibiscus Mahajad. But when I tell you that the one that really has stood out as almost 100%, if not 100%, is Ibisco Nirvana. Guys, this is definitely Hibiscus Mahajad from Maison Crivelli. I'm sorry. I know that there's a cult following. I'm part of it. I have quite a number of their fragrances, all incredible, exceptional olfactory journey, exceptional ingredients, the quality of the blend. But I'm sorry, Ibisco Nirvana. If you have tried Ibisco Nirvana and you had gotten your nose on Hibiscus Mahajad, could you please let us know your thoughts? Because I've tried again many that allegedly are this fragrance. And when I told you Ibisco Nirvana is the one that to me is as spot on as possible. All right, guys, so I left the best one for last because this is a recent launch, by the way, but it has taken the fragrance community by storm because it was inspired, total dupe, of one of our favorite fragrances from Kayali. And this one is for the wedding, I always forget because the names are so long, the wedding silk santal from Kayali. And of course, you guys know that I'm talking about Paris Corner Khair, and this is Felicity. Now guys, these two fragrances, and you know what really is interesting to me is that this one was sent to me, this was in PR also, this one was sent to me very recently. And it really has not had a chance to sit in my collection for months. I don't even think I've had this for, yeah, I've had it for maybe 1 month, maybe. But guys, these two, spot on. I don't know how they did it because this fragrance is just exceptional, just exceptional. But if you've had a hard time finding it, you know, it was out of stock for quite a while, then it came back and then we all picked up several bottles because, but then Khair came out and now we're all like, but I spent all that money. Because when I tell you the exact same fragrance, guys, I'm so sorry to say it because I do love this fragrance, but spot on. So if you're looking for a more affordable alternative and one that does perform even better, even though this one does perform really well for me, but this one, the performance is just stellar, 100% spot on. All right, guys, so we have reached the end of today's Middle Eastern Thursday, and this was a very special video because, you know, it's very interesting for me when I allow myself the time to just sit back and look at what's been happening within Middle Eastern fragrances, and this has been quite the journey for me. I've learned so much and I've discovered so much, and it's made me question so many things. But I have to tell you, I love my niche fragrances and I love my designer fragrances, and I am not going to stop buying them as long as I can do it. I will continue to buy them. But I have to tell you that I also love my Middle Eastern fragrances, and these fragrances, some of them have a quality that is right up there. The performance, the quality, the blend, the ingredients, I can pick it all up and I'm getting the same experience. So if I can bring it to you and give you a more affordable alternative, then I will, because I know many of you are, you know, on a tight budget. And even if you're not on a tight budget, you just don't want to spend that money. So yes, you've asked for it, so I'm bringing it to you. Anyway, guys, I hope that this was enjoyable for you. Please make sure to leave me comments on all of these fragrances. If you've tried any of them or most of them, I'm really, really interested. As always, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.